When you know you're in the plot of Jormungandr and Ragnarok and hey dang, squirrel just ran over the top of my car. And Ragnarok, and you expose truth and wisdom. You know that Jesus Christ is putting you deep into the dark waters that Himdallr and Thar, who may or may not be misled by the bait, which is the bull on a man in an image of another, even if it's an animal or a critter or anything of that nature. Jesus Christ was another one that exposed truth and wisdom, and then everybody blamed him for causing trouble, or it was a law that came against his family, and he was forced to not say a word. There's nothing in there to prove to say that it was an actual family member. There's only doctrines that state that family loyalties was important. So Jormungandr and the Ragnarok prophecy lies upon those courts, and in that kind of a system where a man is being punished by a court, as they did Jesus Christ. They struck him, they threw rocks at him, they mocked him, they cursed him, they hexed him, they vexed him, and he never said a word in the court that which held him for whatever crimes. It doesn't state clearly what crimes they are. It just states that there were crimes and Jesus Christ wouldn't say anything. So understanding that family loyalties is important, and that astrologies and divinations were a part of all of this. They took truth, which is the entire tree of Judah, and they put it on a cross, and it rose up, and the entire copycat of Judah, which is the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the rise, the fall, the rise again, rose up, and Hades, the great curse of death, came down and cursed all of the people that chose their ways to do Jesus Christ in such a manner for absolutely nothing but an accusation in a court, a wrongdoing by somebody or a large number of people, and one person to blame. So the idea of stirring the pots and causing a lot of problems in one man's life in order for him to do that. Nobody knows if it was the churches that plotted these things, but all we can say is that Jesus Christ stood against the churches for a lot of reasons. Love and money. Is your heart really for God, or family loyalties? Eating somebody's life up with your sacrifice is a glutton. Forces somebody to change their ways to better fit your will for money and the wisdom and the knowledge that he spits out. And again, Anvari, being that only through Jesus Christ can the Lamb of God rise, which is the sacrifice, and then Enoch, all of them that chose their ways, fall in the rise, and they're turned to the death for the use of divinations in such manners of wisdom and knowledge and understanding. So it's a performance, portrayed to be the end times of the world. And I can't necessarily say that I hold, or anybody else, if we are all Jesus Christ, handpicked by somebody, a choice king, like it says, to carry a locust or a grave for somebody else in order for us to spit out wisdom, knowledge, truth, understanding, or some kind of gain in artistic nature, or a theft, a thief, like it reads in just about every corner of the Bible. But we can say that the literature is written in there, and that these are the true words that we rely upon every day as a book of life, a way of living in sacrifice for understanding. So, in the rise of torture, which they did to Jesus Christ, in the fall of torture, which they did to Jesus Christ, and all of them that chose their ways, and Jesus Christ's fun-loving, charismatic, artistic nature, party-goer, enjoying life, was stripped, and he was in a court and forced to expose or expel or dispense truth. And they stole everything from that family of Judah, claimed it as their own, even the whiskey and the wine, and started bootlegging and all kinds of stuff. And it's still the same in this world. Ain't nothing ever changed, even though we have a constitution under a Congress and no real speakers, because news media and Congress, you can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. Nothing changes. Fuck you. Get out of here. What's the hell's the fucking reason for a president if we have a Congress? Anyway, I'm not saying that I stand for any president or against any president. I'm just saying that if I see it, then as a Levi, one under Judah, and everybody shall see it, if we are all in a union favored by it, it would have to be Orion, and then the people that which are with Zeus for the sacrifice, which is the creation of the ouroborodous pythionous. Zulon is Zeus, who eats the Lamb of God, which is the one who created the church for Enoch. The rise, it was Enoch, the sea lamb, and the Lamb of God who created the church, the rise and the fall. And then Jesus Christ was the rise again and the fall. For what they did to him was dispensed upon all of them that chose their ways. For your understanding that a world in a system of supernatural phenomenon and saving not just people, but the body is the spirit of the soul. So you understand in this great imagination that which we imagine ourselves in the grand imagination of it all. All things are worth something to God. We lead so that we shepherd, so that we may be led in the same manner. It's the rise and the fall again. So, hopefully I can get back to my art, my music, get off the church as I fully explained. And I asked for wisdom, so it's nobody's fault. I'm not blaming anyone.